the Supreme Court and its right-wing majority is clearly out of control and out of step with the American people, which is why its approval rating is even lower than that of the United States Congress. Clearly, work needs to be done to rein in the Supreme Court, particularly as it relates to its inability to police itself with respect to ethics.
A lot there from Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader in the House, talking to reporters about recent decisions made by the Supreme Court. And we'll pick through some of these rulings now with our political panel. Rick Davis of Stone Court Capital is with us alongside Jeannie Shanzano, political science professor at Iona University and senior democracy fellow with the Center for the Study of the Presidency and Congress. Jeannie, he just said a lot. We can get into the ethical matters in a moment here. But as far as the two rulings go this week, today, the Supreme Court striking down a federal ban on bump stocks, but yesterday upheld access to the abortion pill mifepristone. So is this court really out of touch with the American people?
They are out of touch. Let's not forget, the mifepristone decision was purely on standing. The people who brought the case did not have standing to bring the case. And I think many people you talk to today are deeply concerned that when they get other litigants, and they will, that it could easily be changed. They could easily change their minds. So particularly the more conservative members of the court. So we remain vulnerable on that issue. And then, of course, today, I think one of the most devastating decisions we've seen out of the Supreme Court, and to hear Justice Sonia Sotomayor read the dissent so impassioned from the bench speaks to this. How many people have to die? Las Vegas, over 500 wounded, over 58 killed. And you're telling me because of a 1934 law that bump stocks are constitutional? They are incredibly out of touch with the horror that's been occurring as a result of gun violence. And so this speaks to what Hakeem Jeffries was talking about in terms of their low approval rating.
Rick, we hear often that some of these issues, gun control perhaps being one, abortion being another, they may be important, but they rank lower than, say, the economy or immigration. But we were just speaking with Celinda Lake, who's a Democratic pollster, and she said they may rank lower when you're asked about importance, but when asked on what you're going to vote on, abortion is a turnout driver. Should we be thinking about these issues in terms of how they may drive people to the polls in November?
Yeah, I think a lot of these reflect people's values, and people aren't willing to accommodate compromise with their values. So that drives them out, right? So some of these issues drop below that into just being issues, and they'll trade off an issue one day to the next in order to get something else they want. So I think you got to look within that and make a determination as to what is motivating some voters. Everybody has a different take on what their value system is, but that's usually the primary driver for turnout or for who you choose to vote for. I would say, I mean, I think Hakeem Jeffries makes a case in the sense that what the court has really been telling Congress quite some time now is do your job. We have a separation of power, right? And the court only is turning these issues away like the bump stock because Congress didn't do what they were supposed to do and pass a law to outlaw that. So whether it's on, assault weapons or bump stocks or other kinds of things that have come up before Congress, I mean, all Hakeem Jeffries has to do is start working out a deal with the Republicans, and I know how hard that sounds, but, go do your job. That's your job to pass laws, not the Supreme Court. Last thing I want to do is see the Supreme Court start legislating from the bench.
Fair point. Three branches of government for a reason. Rick Davis and Jeannie Shanzano will be sticking with us because coming up, former President Trump is back on the campaign trail this weekend in the swing state of Michigan, as the debate with President Biden is now just under 2 weeks away. We'll have more next on Balance of Power on Bloomberg TV and Radio.